Greetings YouTube and welcome back to my channel. It's a beautiful morning here in Italy, and when you're on tour motorcycling you often find yourself facing a question which might shape the entire nature of the trip. And the question I'm facing this morning is, do I pack my tent away still moist with condensation and hightail it over to Florence to check out a city I've never seen before it gets mega busy, which is very tempting? Or do I go for a swim in this lake, which looks beautiful, but I'm sure it's absolutely freezing? Only one way to find out. Let's have it.
Well folks, you guessed it, too cold, absolutely too cold. I want to get to Florence, I want to go and see some sights I've never seen before. I'm looking forward to that. So I need to go and settle up at the campsite at the reception, and then I can be on my way and find breakfast while I'm off. Well, this was a good campsite. Didn't manage to get the tent dry though. If I'd have hung around for another hour, maybe it would have dried out, but then that's an hour gone. So my plan for today is to get myself to Florence, soak in a little bit of that, and then head on to Lake Como, and then either camp or Airbnb tonight at Lake Como. And then the following day I intend to get myself into Switzerland, pass through Andermatt, maybe stay at Andermatt. I've got a sneaky feeling all of the really interesting roads are going to be shut. It is only early April and it's probably June when the pass is open properly. Okay, I've all settled up. That's good. My tent's packed away. It's wet again, but at least it's freshly wet. It's not 2 days old and mouldering away in the heat in that bag. So if I get it sorted within the next day or two again, should be okay. I was just talking with the people in the camper van behind me, and they were showing me very snowy pictures of Switzerland. So having just zipped out all of the thermals from my riding gear, I'll be zipping it back in before too long, I'm sure. I'm using Google Maps again to get me to where I want to be in Florence, because I'm being specific about the location. It's the square, and I know the Nav6 will get me. The Nav6 will get me to Florence, but I want to get to a particular place, so I might as well just use Google Maps. For the minute, hour and 30, so I'll be there for 10:25. Then I'll get myself a coffee or something, either on the way or when I'm there. There I am going the wrong way straight away. You can rely on me. Pay attention, Steve. Well, I have a warning light again telling me that my rear tyre's low. So maybe I've got a slow puncture, or it's leaking on the rim or something, I don't know. Coming to the end of the life with these tyres anyway. So I am going to pull over. I'm only 27 minutes from Florence now, but pull over, whack some air in it, because what I don't want to do is have a problem in the middle of the city. That would be annoying, where this is just taking a little bit of time. Where to go? Shouldn't take too long.
Maybe we have too much information on our bikes these days, because back in the old days, if I was riding my old DR600 or a Fizzy, I wouldn't have known whether I had low tyre pressure. I'd have just kept riding until it felt weird or it looked weird. I suppose it's better though that we know. I do also carry with me a puncture repair kit for tubeless tyres, so if I needed to, I could hopefully plug a puncture and get myself going again. Thankfully I haven't needed to do that yet, but I'm sure the time will come. Buongiorno. Nice bike. So far so good. It's not been too hectic. I'm 3.8 kilometers from the very centre of Florence. If it stays like this, I'll be a happy chap. It's almost tempting to just park up and walk the 3 kilometers into the centre, but I'll see if I can get a bit closer first. I have to be braver. Do you know what? I think I'm close enough. I'm 1.5 kilometers from the centre now. That's an easy walk, even in my bike gear. I've got a nice place to park. Why get stressed about getting any closer? It's starting to get, the traffic was starting to build up, so I'll make my life a bit easier. Right, the bike is nicely locked up. I'm even using it as a clothesline at the moment to dry out that very musty smelling towel and tea towel. And now I feel much happier because I don't have to stress about the traffic, and it says it's going to take me 15 minutes to walk to the main square in Florence, where there are many sights to see. Trying to be as organised as possible so that I can find my way back to the bike. There is a cafe just here, which, who knows, maybe I will have a coffee in before I depart, which I've put into Google Maps, so it's now stored in the memory, and I know if I find my way back to that, I'm going to find my way back to the bike. I like to be organised if I possibly can. It's telling me to come up here without getting knocked over. This is the beauty, you see, of having a motorcycle rather than a car when you're doing this kind of thing. I'm not desperately hunting around for a car park or a massive parking space. Just pop the bike in beside the curb, job's a good one. Anyway, welcome to Florence. Just walking past bike after bike after bike. There's a very nice T100. It's a long way from home. Anyway, walking past bike after bike after bike after bike, and in Europe, I mean, look at that. That's just an endless sea of motorcycles or mopeds. In Europe, it's more of a thing than the UK. It's considered an everyday viable form of transport rather than a toy, I guess, and that will be courtesy of the climate, because I guess
people are more inclined to set out on a bike knowing they're not going to get soaked every time, unless you're in France, of course. I like. Very nice. Google Maps is your friend. Beautiful. What a beautiful city. With the hot weather, the hay fever. Excuse me, the hay fever has well and truly kicked in. Small price to pay. Another gaggle of bikes. There's a very cool Africa Twin. It reminds me a bit of when I was on holiday, probably 8 or 9 years old, with my family, and we were going around Europe in a caravan, and I was given a moment to be in control of the, I don't know what you call it, cine camera or whatever. Sort of thing you'd watch on a reel-to-reel slideshow thingy, and I was in control of it, and we were walking through some streets in some quaint little village somewhere, probably Switzerland or something, and I stop and I film a 404 Super Sport when I could have been filming all of the scenery. So nothing changes really. It was blue, I seem to remember, and it fascinated me. And you know, the seed had already been sown for a lifetime of motorcycling, and that passion never goes away. I guess it's in my blood because my dad rode bikes all of his riding life. He's in his 80s now, he doesn't ride anymore. And his dad also rode loads of old Triumphs and stuff like that. I don't know. It's in the family, and now Ben, my son, rides, and Danny, my younger son, who's not that young, he's 25, he's going to be riding soon as well. That's on his list of things to do. Now Danny, my younger son, is an avid gamer, and I've spent a lot of time watching him play Assassin's Creed. I almost feel like I know my way around. It all looks very familiar. It is, of course, tourist central, but then I'm a tourist, so what can I say? Little did they realise when this was being built, the original structures, that it would be such a tourist attraction. It is very, very beautiful though.
Se te hai già fatto con lui, perfetto.
Wow. Oh, just wow. I've seen it in Assassin's Creed, I've seen it in pictures, but that took my breath away. Well, I think it's safe to say They don't make them like they used to. Just incredible, the amount of work. Utterly mind-boggling. And of course, the queues to get inside are long. I won't be doing that. I'm very happy just to observe it from the outside. It just goes on and on. And on. As far as the eye can see. Well, as beautiful as that is, and it is, believe me, absolutely beautiful. If you're ever in a position to get yourself to Florence, come and check it out on your motorcycle, even better. I'm ready to get away from all the crowds, I really am. So I'm going to work my way back to my bike, and then that cafe I used as a point of reference for where I parked it, I'm going to have a spot of lunch, and then my plan is to make my way to Lake Como. And I'm either going to camp or Airbnb. Haven't decided yet. I'll check it out over lunchtime, and that will be my evening. And what a day it will have been. And then tomorrow I'm heading to Switzerland, where it's going to be cold and snowy, completely different to this, where it's upper 20s, sunny, blue sky. This is actually my kind of weather. Why am I going to Switzerland? Oh yeah, because I love mountains, that's why. Early Africa twin. Gotta love it. See, I find that equally as exciting as all this wonderful architecture. I've eaten a lot of pizza since arriving in Italy, but it's all good. Well, that was a nice pizza and a cold Coke. So I'm quite warm, and whilst eating I had a good old look through my options for accommodation tonight, and I decided to camp, and that'll give my tent a chance to dry out, and I think I will really tomorrow morning give it a chance to dry out before packing it away, because that may be the last camping of this trip. It may be Airbnbs for the rest of it. And I am somewhere in the mountains between Lake Como and Lake Lugano. It looks stunning, and the road leading to it is super wiggly. That's stunning as well. So I can't wait to get there. I've entered not the campsite into the Nav6, but I think it's the mountain that it's by, on, whatever. And if I need to, I will switch to Google Maps, which does have the campsite in it, when I get closer. So it's saying I'm going to be there at 5:26. It's currently 1:07. I do have toll roads to do to get there, but that's okay, I don't mind. Let these people cross. Hope this isn't a one-way. Don't think so. Yeah, there's a bicycle riding dead towards me. What are you doing, bicycle? It took quite a while to get myself sorted and organised and packed away, but the good news is my towel is dry and it doesn't smell at the moment. It was starting to smell a bit musty, being wet, packed away for days on end. This morning when I sorted myself out and cleaned my teeth and all that, I had to use my jumper as a towel because it was just too disgusting. The realities of motorcycle touring. Anyway, next stop is the mountains. And well, actually what's really nice about this route is it's going to take me along the shore of Lake Como as well. If it looks like the Nav6 not going to do that, I will revert to Google Maps because it looked like a stunning route. I just would rather use the Nav 6 because it's not using my data. Well, Florence, I approve. Very, very nice. Well, I'm going to pull in here and make a change for my clothing, because as the closer I get to the Swiss border, several things are happening. There is now complete cloud cover, and we've lost all the blue sky. And the temperature is dropping. It's no longer 27 degrees, it's 19.5, which still sounds warm, but I don't have the thermal bits of the suit zipped in anymore, and I've got all the vents open, so I'm starting to get chilly. So I'm going to close the vents. Tonight I shall be zipping back in the thermals. I'm going to check the weather forecast to see if there's rain on the forecast as well, because I don't want to get caught out on the motorway with the mic connected. And I will probably get myself a coffee and use the loo. I'm making good time. I should be at the campsite. It says 6:09, but that's not actually set for the campsite, that's just set for the general area. So I will also switch over to Google Maps now, so that it's a bit more accurate and gets me to the door, hopefully. Actually, as I get off the bike, I realise it would be good to give my backside a rest as well. Getting the miles done though, and tonight will be a different experience because it will be more mountainous. Right, even as I look up the weather, using the trusty BBC weather app, there are spots of rain. So I know I am no longer in southern Italy. So at the moment where I am right now, 61% chance of rain by 6 o'clock. Let's see what's going to happen a bit closer to where I'm going. Right, so I should have planned ahead a bit better. Como in the next hour, 99% chance of heavy rain. So there's me thinking, I'll get the tent dry. More like I'm going to be putting the tent up in the rain. So I'm having a change of plan here. I am going to wrap myself up in my rubber romper suit and see if I can get there without getting too drenched. That is the plan. In 2 days time it's 23, 25, 25 and sunshine the whole way in Como, so I'm timing that wrong. Never mind. Well, I didn't envisage getting into my rubber romper suit quite so soon. I was expecting either the traditional France or at least Switzerland, but no, it's happening before I get to tonight's accommodation. But that's all good, it's fine. I'm heading north, I'm getting closer to home, so of course it's going to rain. And I've just tried and tried and tried, because the phone doesn't like being on the bike in the rain. It then refuses to charge and all stuff like that. This is why phones on bikes aren't a good idea, I think. But I just tried and wasted probably quarter of an hour trying to enter the address of the campsite into the Nav 6, not having any of it at all. So I don't know what the connected ride system is like, the new one that's replaced the Nav 6, but hopefully BMW / Garmin have done a better job, because it's not like Google Maps. You can't just enter like tourist things, points of interest in it so easily, unless I just don't know how to use it. But I've tried and tried. I don't know, I'm sure people in the comments will say, oi, this is how you do it. Anyway, so what I've got is Google Maps running in my phone out of the way of the rain. I've got the Nav 6 on the bike, is still is still set for the general area, so it can get me there, and then at the last minute I will switch back to Google Maps and probably put it on the handlebar again and risk it no longer being happy because it would be wet. Now, because I've spent so long mucking about with the Nav 6, I'm not going to go and get a coffee because I'm losing too much time now, and I have a certain time to check in by, and I'm not even going to use the loo, so I'm just going to get on with it. But at least I'm dry. I've also switched back to no media mod and no external mic on the GoPro, so there's no risk of me ruining stuff. It's all fine, it's waterproof now. However, I won't be able to chat to you, which you probably think, oh, that's a good thing, but I won't be able to chat to you for the rest of the way now, unless the sun comes out and I switch back to my other setup. So I'm going to get on with it. Well, it's raining. I can see you just about. It's raining. It's almost dark. I'm going to get the tent. Oh, what a stunning ride along Lake Como. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm just going to move the bike along a little bit because it's on a bit of a slope. Don't want it to fall over. The tent is still soaked from this morning. I'm glad I didn't wait for it to dry though. So riding along the shores of Lake Como was just beautiful, beautiful. Pity about the rain, but never mind. Obviously home to the rich and famous as well. The notable one that springs to mind is George Clooney. So he's got a new neighbour. He's got Two-Wheel Dreamer as a new neighbour, albeit up in the mountains looking down on the lake in my tent. Just wait for my sleeping bag to blow itself up. Height of luxury. Okay, so if I decide I want to go my tennis with myself in the night, I've got a tennis court just here. My showers and everything are just there. Two-Wheel Dreamer Towers is all set up. Nice and cosy for the night. But I think it's fair to say that it's going to be too dark to show you where I've been on the map. So I'll do that in the morning. And I need to sort myself out some food. I did ask about where I could eat, and he said it's a kilometre or two up the road, which means getting back on the bike. I'm not going to do that today. What I'm going to do is heat up the breakfast that I have for tomorrow morning now, and then I'll go and find somewhere nice to eat in the morning. And I'm not rushing about tomorrow morning. I've got a feeling it's going to be raining on me anyway, so I'm going to take my time and sort myself out. Now, I don't know if you can see out there, but currently engulfed in cloud. The rain has eased off, thankfully. I pretty much managed to get the tent up in the dry. I don't know if you can even see me. There I am. Hello. So that's good. I'm gonna now say goodnight to you because it's been a long but amazingly good day, and I am going to cook some food and go to sleep. That's the plan. So I really hope you liked today's episode. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, because it really helps. And I will see you, possibly still engulfed in cloud, in the next one. See ya.